Hi, my lovelies. Welcome to Love, Lauren, where we discover the beauty within so that we can experience it all around us. Looking into our own darkness isn't an easy work, but it is necessary to clear the patterns and programs running quietly in the background. So come on in, take your shoes off, get comfortable, and grab your drink of choice. And if you're ready to meet the most authentic version of yourself, welcome home. Hi, my lovelies. How are you all feeling? Happy Friday. I hadn't heard this term in a long time. Maxing and relaxing. So we're doing a little back to the future in this video because this is technically the first part of this video, but I recorded all of this last week. So it's 3 parts. So we're going back in time just a little bit because the first part of the video is not wanting to upload. So we're re-recording that part. So we are circling back to the conversation on abandonment. Excuse me. I think it was maybe it was some months that we were in Worthy and Clear, and the topic of abandonment came out, both without and within. And so the plan was to read an emotional alchemy and have a discussion. But what I didn't know at that time was that I had to go live and experience some more things before we could have the conversation. So then I felt like, okay, this is more of a shift in the channel of experiencing and living and enjoying and being outside and having fun. And what does exploring look like at that version of me? With shit, blank canvas. We have some yellow on the canvas now. Some yellow, some green, a little red. But we're gradually adding back to the canvas. And so what I found is when I was out, while being outside and hanging out, doing stuff, it didn't feel, the word I'm hearing is proper. It didn't feel proper to record it. It felt right to experience it and to live it. So it's well, that's not really it either. But what I found is that while being outside, doing things, getting outside of my comfort zone, it has brought in, of course, opportunities for more clearing, specifically of that abandonment. I'm hearing abandonment imprint. And so what it has been calling for me, what I have been calling for myself, was to know that I am worthy of showing up as myself and not dimming my light to fit in. To fit into society, to fit in with family, to fit in at the gym, to fit in at the grocery store, everywhere. That's been the common denominator. And so that's what has been, that's what we've been clearing. And so it was so in order to address and acknowledge the abandonment that has occurred within, the only way to rectify that and clear that is to learn more about ourselves, to get inquisitive with ourselves, to ask, why did that, why did that statement make me feel like you were going to up and leave me when it was actually the opening for a conversation to gain clarity? Where did that come from? Why does seeing this family dynamic on TV cause me to have such a visceral reaction? What is that? Instead of avoiding the thing. Because things can only be avoided for so long before it's like pop goes the weasel and the weasel goes pop and you're gonna see me. How I actually heard it was, bitch, you're gonna see me. It was, bitch, you gonna see me. Straight like that. Because I can no longer be suppressed. And while you're trying to suppress me, I'm trying to help you. And so what I've been realizing is that, like, cozying up to the villain, because every villain has a backstory. Like, villains didn't just pop out like, ooh, world domination. It's like there's always a story. There's always something that happened, right? And it is going into our own stories and listening and learning to love our inner villain, or however you want to say it. Learning that I am still worthy of listening to myself. I am still worthy of love. And that's not to say that it's like the flip of a switch, because it's not. I've been like, I wasn't even consciously aware that I've been doing this for like 9 years at different levels, different states of awareness. But that the call has been for me. The call has been for me to come home here, so that I can know I'm safe. Root chakra energy. So that's what's been going on. But I'm curious to know, because the only way, and it's so important, because we are each our own individual being. And, you know, like, the only way to embrace our individuality, our uniqueness, our authenticity is to be able to go through and like, that's so good. Have y'all ever seen the videos of like power washing, and it's like the time lapse videos? The one that I just saw in my mind was it's this great big oriental rug, and the man, and it's dirty. I mean, it's dark because you can't even see the pattern of the rug, but it's a video of him cleaning it and shampooing it and power washing it and like doing all these things and rolling it out and squeegeeing it out and da-da-da-da-da. And it's time lapsed. So in the video, it's maybe like about 45 minutes, but that's sped up. So what is the amount? What is the real amount of time? And that's so important, that we have patience and grace and understanding for ourselves. Because how much grace and understanding do we extend to others as they process their shit? But then it can be like turning on stuff like, why can't you just get it? Why can't you just, or maybe it's just me. Or maybe it's just me, like, why can't you just get it? But I can understand, like, and see for others, like, why? Oh, okay, yeah, you know, like, shit, that's 40 plus years, like that, you know, it's not gonna be in 3 minutes. But that's a part of that process too, because being a safe space for me right here. So please, like, engage if you feel called in the conversation, in ways which you are showing up for yourself, in ways which you are advocating for yourself, for your safety within, and what that looks like as you show up for you. And what tools and tips do you have for us who are on that journey of embodying our most authentic self? So this is the intro, and then we're gonna come back and I read Emotional Alchemy. It's not too long. It's like a page and a half, and then I come back. So, if anything, if you need to take a moment, take some shit. If it takes some days, some weeks to allow for information to be revealed to you, take the time to chew on the information. Let it digest, and then be inquisitive. Be inquisitive with yourself. Ask yourself questions, and trust and believe, as I know you already know, that answers will come. It may come through dreams. It may come through free writing, through scripting. It may come through a billboard. It may come through a conversation. It may come through a commercial. Spirit is always talking. Spirit is always talking. So yeah, it's like, why do I feel called to look at this? Why do I feel called to go down this rabbit hole? And trust and believe there's an answer there. And it's even better if that shit scares you a little bit, or if that shit causes you to be uncomfortable, because that's when we're getting to the nitty gritty. The nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes, is this like, oh God, my comfortability is being challenged. And it's like, no, I don't want to. No. Lean into the uncomfortable shit. And I promise, whenever the message finds you, you're ready. You have whatever support team that you need. We're here. Your spirit team is there. Mama's always listening. Or God, Yeshua, look. And then just got an email notification for Ancestry. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. I love this shit. So yeah, so we're gonna come back, but I love you all, and I will see you on the other side. Bye. Hi again, my lovelies. So this is the book that we are reading out of. Oh, there's a little glare on her name. It's Emotional Alchemy by Tara Bennett Goldman. How the Mind Can Heal the Heart. And we are on page 75. And look at this. You can't make this shit up. Like I always say, Spirit is so perfect. You are worthy of all you desire. All right, so we're just going to read this little section here on abandonment, not too much. And then we will come back tomorrow. All right, this is like because what time is it? I think it's like 11 o'clock at night. We have our reading lamp here. I got my blanket. And I feel like I'm tucking in, and we're having a bedtime story. So may our inner children feel snug as a bug and a rug. Such an interesting thing. But anyway, here we go. Abandonment. The first schema results from reactions to loss. I was about 3 or 4 years old, and my father, who adored me, had just had a heart attack, one client recalls. My 7-year-old brother cried, and when I asked him what had happened, he told me our father had died. I felt alone from that moment on. My mother was always too busy keeping things together and traveling for work. I felt abandoned by her too. From that moment on, I always craved reassurance that the people in my life wouldn't leave me. Even now, when they do something that even hints of abandonment, like not calling me back right away or being late to meet me, I immediately feel hurt, then sad. Sometimes I just want to give up on the relationship, even though there's really nothing that wrong. The ongoing fear that people will leave us all alone lies at the core of abandonment. The pattern can have its roots in an actual childhood experience of being left by a parent who dies, for instance, or when one parent leaves after a divorce. But the abandonment need not have been real, a symbolic one, like moving all the time, or having an unstable, unreliable, or emotionally distant parent can have the same kind of emotional impact. A parent who is not reliably there for the child, who is erratic in taking care of the child, or who is unpredictable or alcoholic, sometimes in a good mood, and other times a terrifyingly angry one, can also instill the abandonment fear. For people with this schema, the prospect of being alone stirs up a deep sadness and feeling of isolation. The resulting fear and panic are signature emotions of the abandonment pattern. The automatic response of a small child to the fear that the key person in her life will abandon her is, of course, to cling harder. That urge is only natural in a child. Holding on for dear life or constantly seeking reassurance that someone will stay or be dependable offers an imagined antidote to the feared abandonment. Such a habit is formed early on. Typically, the clinginess begins as a positive adaptation, a way for that child to calm her fears through seeking a soothing reassurance of consistency. But such clinginess will be out of place when, as a grown-up, the same fear resurfaces over and over in the person's closest relationships. One coping strategy in abandonment can lead to an anxious attachment, where the person needs constant reassurance that the relationship is steady and secure. But constantly seeking reassurance can sometimes lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy by driving a partner away. Someone with the abandonment schema can become a worrywart about a relationship, fearing that if she rocks the boat in the smallest way, her lover will abandon her for someone else. An avoidance strategy might lead her to compromise herself by putting up with a bad relationship, again, out of the fear that her partner will leave. Alternatively, she may adapt by running away from a relationship before her partner can leave her, another way to avoid the feared abandonment. To avoid feelings brought up by being alone, a person with the abandonment schema may be continually scanning for the next person to cling to, always trying to protect himself from the dread of being alone. This desperation leads her to push too hard too early in a romantic relationship, frantically seeking to spend every moment with the man or move in together before he's ready for such a commitment. At the same time, she is hypersensitive to any sign that he is on the verge of abandoning her, and she's always ready to make a jealous accusation that he has another love interest. This schema makes the person fixate on signs that someone will leave, distorting them to mean the relationship will end. One sign of this kind of skewed thinking is being overly upset by even a short separation for a loved one, such as a spouse taking an overnight business trip. The schema triggers a fear that the loved one will never come back, a primal fear as strong as that of a young child. The feelings that a temporary separation or the actual loss of a close relationship can trigger in someone with the abandonment schema are far stronger than most other people would feel. The very possibility of such abandonment, can trigger a panic as acute as the fear a small child feels when lost from her parents in an amusement park. If this pattern seems familiar from your own life, it can help to realize that you can be both solitary and content rather than feeling isolated and despairing. People with abandonment fears need to learn that they will be all right on their own, that they have the inner resources to meet their needs themselves, and so will not fall apart if someone leaves them. Along the way to this healing, being especially attentive to the feelings that even a symbolic abandonment stirs up, the hypersensitivity to separation or being left, the desperate clinging to people, the dread of being isolated will help you track this schema as it starts to take you over. Learning to trust in connections is a landmark along the way. All right, so we'll pick this back up. I keep saying on the other side. So we'll come back and discuss. And if you want to pause the video and come back after you've had some time to process, if anything comes up for you, if you feel like sharing, please, of course, do. If you need to chew on the material, and then come back in a few days, whatever feels right for you. But I'll see you on the next part, and we will talk about what comes up. All right. Hi, my lovelies. Happy Saturn Day. How are you all feeling? How are you feeling after our bedtime story? This ended up being a three-day process, because I just knew, once again, we're letting this shit go. I just knew we were gonna come back and finish the video up on yesterday, which would have been Friday, but here we are today on Saturday, a one day. And so we started on Thursday, Jupiter Day. It was an 8-day. Yesterday, Friday, Venus Day, and then today. So I'm curious to know, did any of the information resonate with you? Did you have any triggering? Was it like, oh shit, there's a there? Did you have to pause and come back? Were there any questions that you had to ask yourself? Did you have any flashes? I'm seeing somebody that got like a flashback of childhood. And it's like, oh shit. So that's exciting. Congratulations. Anytime we can notice a pattern, what I heard was unlock a pattern. That's so exciting because it gets us closer to us. It gets us closer to us, which is going back to the most authentic self. But it's so crazy because, like, the last little section, that's where I am right now in life, is learning that me on my own am okay and I'm safe, and that spirit got me. Like, I'm not alone, even though it may physically seem like it's just me, myself, and Irene. Even though it may just seem like it's me, which at first was really fucking scary. And the direction of my life, like, that I'm being called to move in, is like, it's me. And when I say it's me, not meaning that there's no one else in my life, but I'm being called to venture out on my own. So there's some distance. There's gonna be some distance. And that is scary, but I see why I had to, like, get to this point to know that I'm safe. And that even though on the outside it may look like, you know, it's just me rocking, it's like I got a whole squad that is rocking with me and supporting me. And that's what I've been trying to get back to this whole time. I thought that the starting point was my parents, that was like the initial abandonment, but it was deeper than that. It was like I felt abandoned by God. by mama, because I've been separated and I've forgotten like who I was, where I was, why I was here, you know, all the things. But as I'm remembering who I am, why I'm here, and that all is within, so I can never be alone. What is it? Alone? No, I can never be lonely. Alone, not lonely. And what was that? I heard this years ago. I think it's a song. And it was like, I can never be alone with God in the room. And that's some real shit. That's some real shit. And it's crazy because with being alone and realizing that I am safe and that it all starts here, that safety starts from within. And as I get back to my default settings and the most authentic version of myself, that then opens me up for connection. Because then that connection isn't tainted with, are you going to leave me? It's not tainted with me performing. So now it's just like, hey, I show up as I am, and who's meant for me, what's meant for me, where's meant for me shall be. And we rock and roll with that. So yeah, so my prayer and my intention is that this was a helpful video, and that it leaves you asking more questions. Asking more questions about yourself. And like I'm all ears of what you find out about yourself, what discoveries you make for you, and like as we continue to get back to self, like what does that look like? It's so exciting. Like it really is exciting, because me today, I dreamt of this version of me. And I'm not even all the way like exposed to myself. But I remember, like, I would say it was like 2016, 2017. And I got a flash of myself. And I was like, oh my God. And it hit me the other day. I think it was Thursday. It was either Thursday or yesterday. And it hit me. It was like, bitch, I was feeling me right now. Like, I would have never even thought that I could be me right now. As brave as I am, as courageous as I am, as me as I am. And then me seeing glimpses of myself, you know, like in different spaces and places. And it's like, wow. So, yeah. And we wouldn't be here today without acknowledging the lens and the prescription of abandonment. So, yes, I hope that this video leaves you feeling more inquisitive about you. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, start of your day, whatever time it is when you view this video. And I will see you next time. Bye.